What is going on, everybody? I am back. Welcome into post-game recap for the Mariners' third game of the season. Before I get started, you might have noticed the name change for the channel. Nothing's changing content-wise. It's still going to be the same videos. Still going to do my shorts and all that stuff. Just with the next 6 months with baseball and my focus really being on the Mariners and post-game videos and pre-game or live streams, whatever it's going to be. Just want to change the name to get my channel out there more, maybe for people that are looking for Mariners content and stuff like that. I figured it might help. Thank you to my daughter for making the logo as well for the new channel. So, but nothing's going to be changing as far as content goes. So it's not like a massive change or anything. Just want to change up the name a little bit. Start real quick with Robbie Ray went on the injured list today to start off with a flexor strain in his throwing arm, his left arm or shoulder or forearm, sorry. Grade 1, so that's good news. I think Marco Gonzalez had the same injury a couple of years ago and missed a month about, so that's probably a good initial time frame to look at for Robbie Ray getting back. It makes sense now. The velocity was down after the first inning for him, and he was not sharp. Now, pitchers can sometimes just not be sharp, and I mentioned that his lack of control was why the velocity was down, because he was just trying to slow it down to get it over for strikes. But it certainly could have been the injury as well. So in some ways it's good because it's like it explains why the struggles happened yesterday, but also stinks that, they'll miss Robbie Ray now for at least probably a month. Hopefully not anymore. Chris Flexen becomes a lot more valuable to the team now. He'll slide in and take Robbie Ray's spot in the rotation. So we talked about it. We talked about how last year this team was really healthy with its pitching staff, and we're 3 games into the season now, and we've already dealt with an injury. So, those things, unfortunately, it's where seasons can go awry. I'm not saying that's going to happen to the Mariners, just saying, sometimes those injury things can really mess with you. The Mariners do some pretty good depth. So hopefully if it's just a little bit, I think they'll be fine with Chris Flexen sliding in there. But, yeah, that'd be the first thing. As far as the game goes today, just, thank goodness for the pitch clock. Made that, what could have been a 3-hour game and a rough watch, at least only 2 hours. Mariners couldn't get anything going against Aaron Savale. Julio had 2 hits, led off the game with a hit, stole a base. That was it. Tommy La Stella had the other hit, a double in the 8th. Mariners only managed 3 hits and 5 base runners. JP walked, and Teoscar Hernandez walked. Pretty rough performance from the offense. A game that, if it wasn't Game 3, it'd probably be really, really frustrating, to talk about, just because, kind of a pathetic offensive performance from the Mariners tonight. It's the 3rd game of the season. I'm not going to rip them too much. It happens. Cleveland's a really good ball club. I mean, this is the defending AL Central champs who won 92 games last year. They're expected to win the division again this year and be a playoff team. So it's not anything that, the old adage is always break even against good teams, beat the bad ones. So Mariners have a chance to do that tomorrow, have a chance for a series split. You'll take that, and then hopefully as the Mariners play some of the lesser teams on their schedule, they can get some wins. I talked about it in my post-game video from last night, but I usually don't look at things till May 1st in terms of who's struggling, who maybe needs to go down, what's going on with the team. Now, obviously, if you're 3-18 or something on April 26th, yeah, you need to look at that. But as long as you're within a couple games of 500, I try not to. Everybody needs about a month to get going and see what's going on here. Because right now, outside of Julio and Ty France, everybody on this team is really, not doing anything. So hard to really talk about and say, oh, this guy's struggling, that guy's struggling. And it's 3 games. We're talking about 12 to 15 at-bats for these guys. And everyone's going to have streaks where they have rough 12 to 15 at-bats. So that is what it is. Logan Gilbert was really good. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned. It was the home run to Josh Naylor. Just a slider that hung over the middle of the plate. Naylor's a good hitter, and he does what he should be doing, mistakes, and put it over the fence. Only 1 walk for Logan, struck out 7. He was really sharp in his first start, so that's great to see. Him stepping up. Diego Castillo gave up a home run to Jimenez in his 1 inning. Other than that, he was pretty sharp. Spire came in. He's the guy who came up for Robbie Ray going on the injured list, and he pitched a really nice inning. Festa didn't have very good command, but was able to wiggle around, a couple walks, and pitched a scoreless inning of work in the 9th. Pitching was obviously fine today. You should be able to give up 2 runs and win most ball games. but the offense just wasn't there today. Um, you know, it, this offense is going to be a little susceptible to this. This team's strength is its pitching, its run prevention. The offense isn't bad. There are some really good hitters on this team, but it's going to be a little streaky. You've got some streaky hitters in there that are going to lead it to be, susceptible to games like this. Suarez is a streaky hitter. Cal Raleigh can be a streaky hitter. Teoscar Hernandez is a streaky hitter. It just is what it is. So you're going to have games like this. And listen, you're going to have games like this no matter how good you are. This could be the best offense in baseball, and they're going to have games like this. We're 3 games into the season. If coming into this season you thought the Mariners were the worst team in baseball for some reason, then you should still think that. If you thought this team was going to win the World Series, then you should still think that. 3 games should not change your perception of any team. I mean, this is football. I would say 3 games really shouldn't change your perception. And that's out of 17 games now. This is out of 162. So we still got 159 of these to go. So plenty of time for the Mariners to get the ship righted. But as far as the game goes today, yeah, kind of frustrating. And Aaron Savali's not bad, but he's not someone the Mariners should be able to put up a few runs against. Again, cold air. Both teams are kind of struggling to hit. Cleveland was able to work a lot of walks yesterday and get some nice timely hits to get a lot of runs. But they just happened to get a couple over the fence today. Other than that, they didn't really, how many hits did Cleveland? They only had 5 hits as well. They did have 3 walks, but they weren't exactly mashing the ball either. That's not a knock on them, but both teams are kind of struggling to get the offense going. Not surprising early in the season. Offense can be a little behind, especially in the colder weather. Once it warms up, that ball will start flying a little bit. Mariners' best chance to get back in it, probably game in the 8th against Karinchak again. He is really having trouble with the pitch clock. Not surprised if you had asked me one of the pitchers that I thought would struggle with it, he would have been one. Just his antics and stuff. He seems like a guy that loves to slow the game down. LaStella had the 1-out double. JP walked. Julio had a kind of a rough strike 2 call on him. There's probably a ball, but he struck out. It happens. The Mariners have gotten benefits of close calls too. It's just how the game goes. So yeah, and Cal Raleigh pinched hit for Tom Murphy actually after the LaStella double, and he struck out looking. So that was probably the Mariners' best chance. They weren't going to do anything against Class A. I mean, that's the only way you're going to score off that guy is you get lucky. A couple bloops fall in a 1-run game and you score. Not much else you're going to do against him. So yeah, I mean the Mariners dropped to 1-2. Again, it's hard to do these recaps early in the season. I just, until we get into it, I can't really get on these guys. Yeah, Teoscar Hernandez is struggling. I said it last night. He's a streaky hitter. He's going to have a 10-game stretch somewhere coming up here where he's going to carry this team to 7 wins out of 10. Kelenic, I don't know. He's had some nice at-bats. Not really today, but, again, these guys are all a 4 for 4 away from, Jared Kelenic goes 4 for 4 tomorrow, and he's the front runner for MVP in the league. You know what I mean? So all these guys are one big game away from being totally fine. So it's hard to really criticize anybody so far. Like, do I think Tommy LaStella should be the everyday DH? No, but he's only got an extra base hit today. So, who knows? But yeah, that's about it. Mariners will try and bounce back tomorrow and get a series split with Marco on the mound against Cal Quantrill. So we'll see if the Mariners can get a series split before the Angels come into town for 3 games and get the team back over 500 here. So, yeah, I'm not worried about anything yet. Just it's frustrating. Any losses, no matter what your record is, sucks to watch your team lose. So again, thanks for watching the Jays Trident podcast. We'll have more videos coming up. Again, I will be going live eventually for a Mariners game when I have time to do it. Until then, post-game recaps will be up. Should be up every night. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you thought of the game. Let me know what you think. If you're worried about some of these guys, if you're not, maybe to each their own. So I will see you guys next time and enjoy your Saturday night. Peace.